The, the.
What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Leanne. I'm getting blissed out, shedding into soul culture again and again. I want to see an ability where we're using wonderful tools for transformation come out not only into the universe, into the portals of YouTube, but that could actually help somebody through a moment with their mind, their body, and their spirit. So with this Shedding into Soul Culture podcast number 17 today, I'm bringing on a good friend, a client, and a future business partner. Her name is Farzana Dhanji. And she's got a wonderful background. Those paintings I've seen, I've been in her house. She's got Bloomberg screens. She's got a background in many, many wonderful things. But we're going to talk about her 8 weeks with me in this podcast and some of her experiences with chakra therapy, vision boards, the focus wheels, sounds, and then the dynamic meditations and how it's helped her in her ways. So, Farzana, let's go back to day one. We had a chance.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago. Okay.
Right? So think about it. There's like, you were thinking you needed something, and then I told you about this, and then it just worked. So think back to like, what did you need before this manifested?
What did I need? I just needed to find a solution to life. I think there was a lot going on. I was becoming more lazy, or maybe I was becoming more, I was thinking too much in my head. I was too much in my head and just worried about everything. So that was the first day when I came in, and I'm always on the go, as you know, Leanne. I'm always like, let's get going, So that was what was going on. Yeah, but I really enjoyed the first day. I've done yoga before, but my yoga stance was really, really bad. So it was really nice to do the warm up with the yoga, and then to do what did we do? We just did
The dynamic was the deep breathing, the cathartic
right.
work, and then coming into stillness, coming back
Yes.
to the centering and the stillness.
Yes, I remember that. And it was really nice, because when I left, I felt so energized. I was like, suddenly somebody just, took some, electricity and just went, made me feel so good, and just energized me to go back and, get to work and get to life, basically.
Becoming dynamic. Yes, that method. So
Becoming
audience, in the first week, we also focus on the root chakra. So every week there's a chakra to deal with, and separating the chakra yoga poses also helps to deepen the value for why those poses were the way they were. Like when you start to think about your body, when you're holding your body and you're actually pulling up that Mahaband, and we were doing some Kegel squeezes just to even connect, allow the mind to come down. I don't know if you remember any of that. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because I hadn't done Kegels in a long time. So it was a little different. I did feel like through the whole process, actually, I felt like my third eye would suddenly just get activated. I don't know if many of your viewers know what that feels. It just feels like something is, pumping on your third eye right there. You just feel like a very light vibration, should I say? Sorry, very light vibration, and you know that your third eye is opening up. And that's what really made me feel, and mostly through each one of those sessions, all the way till the last session, actually.
Yeah,
that was one of them.
The stimulation also with that awareness is because the chakra body is so fine. You got to learn about your nadis, you got to learn about your koshas, you got to see like a little bit more about like how this breath and this pranic body is moving. When we're also engaging certain muscles, holding the posture, we're giving that physical body experience a chance to have a subtle experience after we fall into meditation. So it's kind of like reverse psychology. We do the pranayama so that we can become more clear. we also get more oxygen. We could become, that moment helps to unblock those overthinking patterns and the grounding. I mean, the first week, the grounding, that dynamic, woohoo, and the focus wheels, you know, going back into like, what is the focus for the next 8 weeks is really coming into self-love, holding space for yourself again, like through that confusion is like, why do we all need each other? And why do we need these tools? Because it helps. We help each other to participate and use tools to transform. Now, the beauty of these tools, audience, I want to reflect and why I'm offering them, because they are pillars to what kept me on my journey in the same state where Farzana met me, aligned. And so if it creates some alignment, what I remember, and I'll let you know, one of the most beautiful moments I had with Farzana in the first week is I could feel the essence of her inner Buddha. And then I came to know she did Vipassana. So you did Vipassana for how long?
I did my first Vipassana, or we call it, or Vipassana in 2008 in India, which was silent meditation for 10 days. And I've gone to the next stage with the Satipatthana, which is an advanced, a little bit more advanced level of meditation. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I really felt a new friend. Like, because I've been meditating for so long, is that the beauty about teaching this and having a chance to hold space with you is where those two sentient beings are just mirroring each other in the nothingness. And that's, you know, part of the reason why I love doing this work and also meeting people to offer that, because it's such a beautiful unfolding of now having such a more deeper, intimate friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I feel like that's the whole idea. The podcast I started before this, Farzana, just to give you a little bit about heart-based community podcasting. There were 7 series with my friends in Conscious Living Radio, like where we envisioned helping the people this way. And then when I got the vision of creating content and like tools of transformation of how to help people be in that state and also participate in the community that way, is it's what's really unfolding here between this moment. And later on after this, I'll show you some videos where you can explore that too, and just know in your own soul's purpose. I'm doing the Vipassana, or however you pronounce it, better than me. Really, this is the life lineage, you know, 30 years I'm in the making of this. And at the same time, the humility of human to human, heart to heart. And my honor for you, we can go through like the next couple of weeks, you know. So we went into the humming the next week, the sacral chakra, you know, stuff about relationships, dealing with the unfolding of like our value, you know, and how to be valued and how to live a sacred, loving relationship. Anything you want to talk about there?
I think there was some interesting stuff that unfolded in the past week and a half when you talk about relationships. Well, I was already working with my past. There was one relationship that I was always stuck on that went back to the 1996. There was this guy that I was hung up on mentally. We always have somebody, no matter what, even if you're married or whatever it may be, there's always one person, like your favorite child. You always have one person that you're always hung up on. And it was very interesting how I was able to process that and disconnect from that. And then the weirdest thing was on Saturday, there was this guy that was to marry. It was my first love. That I met. And I actually went through the process of relationships for myself because I need to move on as well. So obviously, we're stuck. We have some trauma. We all have something going on in the background. And I actually did, I did whatever I needed to do, with texting him how I felt and stuff like that. So it was a good, when it comes to relationships, it was a good process that I went through mentally, and then emotionally, and releasing it, physically, should I say, physically, in the sense as in communication, in communication. So when you talk about relationships, that's what happened. And I think it was a good process, because when we went through the course, not only did I, as a friend, we had an opportunity to talk as friends, but I also had an opportunity to process it emotionally, mentally, and spiritually as well. So that's what I really enjoyed about it. You know, it was just like, okay, release. Now what's next? Let's move
Mm,
on, right? Let's clear the past and let's move on. And I think there's a lot of, like you talk about the different nadis or the different chakras. You got to clear those to be able to move forward. You can't move forward even in vipassana we call it, or vipassana. We got to clear our pain bodies, we call it. So the
mm,
pain bodies, because our emotions get stuck in different parts of our body, that
mm.
causes all the disease, the mental disease and the emotional disease and the physical disease. So it was great to go through that. I guess I had a different experience because I've done other things to be able to come here to be able to better my processing, I guess, if you want to call it.
And the constant aspect of life and learning, but being on this pathway, and when we turn in, when we start to turn in, it's a powerful exploration of ourselves, and it's a powerful, vulnerable aspect of even opening up and building that trust of having a friend, right? And
Yeah.
having somebody that you know that wants to be there long term. So that's my honor and value, even as a teacher, is like really honoring first the friends or the people that come into this. Is like I've always tried my best to feel like that's the way we really want to change this world and the war that's going on in the world. It starts with us. It starts with us, even why we're working with chakras, why we're
Yeah.
working with these dynamic methods from these great masters, right? It's like, what are we able to unleash into coming into that core of that beingness is really the change that the earth needs. So I honor you, and
Thank
I
you.
honor our growth. Yeah, so moving through the chakras, how about chakra breathing? We went in that beautiful,
Oh, remind me, which one was that?
that's our solar plex. We
Oh, the solar
free.
plexus. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I remember that one. That was what day was that? Day we did the tarot reading where I was going through a lot of
Yeah, I
stuff
brought out
with.
tarot again, even though audience tarot is usually at the beginning, but I do special things for friends just to say
Yes,
I break some of the rules.
I I think that was the day where I was just having a lot of drama in the house. You know, I have a little preteen child, trying to get him out of the house and get him to school, and I think he was having his own struggles. So I remember that day. I was just really wired, I think, that day. Yeah, I remember that day. I
Yeah, the
was really
chakra breathing
wired.
is pretty well. The chakra breathing allows us to see when we learned about the nadis, the 72,000 nadis, and not all of us are thinking like how magnificent we are. We're
Yeah.
stuck in our head with some trauma or like the next amount of money we got to make. So these tools bring us back to like, look within, take a deep breath, take it easy. That's what the masters would say, and allow life and allow it to take care of you.
Yeah. This too shall change, they say.
Mm.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. And then our dancing meditation. So the next couple of weeks we had,
Oh
the
yeah.
expression of the heart with our dancing and our movement, and then allowing us to
Yes.
feel. That was with our natraj and with no dimensions when we're shoo.
Yes, 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 yes.
And then that
Yes.
option, like where we're coming into all those spaces. So it's so nice when we're dealing with the chakras, how I've merged in so much of Master Osho's work, where all the colors of all of the great awakened beings, have offered us tools like Rumi, the Sufi whirling, you
Oh,
know.
that was my favorite.
Mm.
The Sufi dance was my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. Yeah. And oh, the other beautiful thing about it is how it was made, like where when we're moving in all those six directions, we're actually preparing that center so that when we are whirling, that we're centered and we're actually dissolving. So I even feel like when I teach it again and again and again, I feel like, I get so much out of that too, just by being with somebody that's learning it, because you go back into like that inner child,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And then we had moved into eye gazing. Anything you remember
Ah,
about eye
yes.
gazing?
I remember that one. Looking
Mm,
into each other's soul. Yeah.
mm. And the
Yeah.
power of the candle and the movement of the candle, and just how that
Yes. Yes, that was my favorite. The candle,
This
just
sitting with
gazing
this
into the
candle is
candle.
powerful.
I think what I found was my mind was, as all of us have got like 60,000 thoughts in our mind, and we don't 75% of it is basically garbage. um
Mm,
I felt like I still had a lot of thoughts going, running, like, um but when I gazed into the candle, it took me a couple of minutes or so to actually quiet that mind, like
mm,
to focus on the candle and just to quiet the mind. It does take time. It's not instant,
mm,
obviously, but for some people who feel it's instant, it's not. Even somebody like me who's meditated a lot, it's not instant. Um, but it's amazing when you have your mind completely quiet. You even when you're speaking, your speech, your thought, your hearing, everything becomes heightened, but you also become very silent, which was awesome, which I really loved. I think
mm.
that's the third eye, was it?
Yeah,
The
that was
that was
when we're the eye gazing. Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
right, yeah,
yeah. So
that was
looking
that was
into
my
that,
favorite.
because when we were doing the Sufi whirling and the it pulls the energy up to the throat always when we dance. So other than doing a seed sound, we had lam bam ram yam hum om ah ring, right? So even though
Yeah.
we're working with those seed sounds and we're connecting with that finer body, that value, that sacredness, the yoga asana, the yoga flow, these dynamic works, I really feel they complement anybody who's a practitioner of um expanding the value of really what's happening in yoga. Because for years I did yoga, and then when I started these dynamic work for about 10 years with Master Osho, I saw they complemented each other.
Hmm.
Kind of like how yoga and tantra are like the earth and the sky. Osho's teachings were very tantric. And even though all teachings are in their own way meaning a method, tantric means comes from that tantric meaning method, right? It's still the subjective aspect and objective aspects that we're looking at when we're looking through the discipline of yoga. There's a lot of objective logical aspects of like holding the body, but really yoga leads you to the subjective, and it leads you to tantra, and they're sister
Hmm.
sciences, right? Brother and sister. So that's why I also tried to give the introduction into the pathway of Tantra through rooting the yoga aspect, because if we don't know pranayama, if we don't know the meridians of the body, if we don't know the nadis, if we don't know the koshas, like how when we look in and we have this beautiful opening in our heart, or we feel every cell in our body nourished by this bliss of Satchit Anand, and we have like an orgasm naturally from the lower chakra up, Kundalini Mahashakti. If we don't know some of these things, it's happening. But this pathway that the masters had given, and why I'm working with, that wisdom and offering that, is because there's a pathway to also relieving you from the noise of the things that don't work.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's what's happening naturally now. Like you shed into soul culture. Your soul is more alive when you're in the shedding process. And then you get to recognize, no, this doesn't feel good. No, I get it. Even though everybody's great, it's you really come back to self-love and honoring. And then that sensitivity is passed to your loved ones. Like, yeah, are we reacting or responding?
Hmm.
Right. Then we moved into our crown chakra, Mahamudra.
Hmm.
And the Mahamudra, is where we allowed ourselves just to move through the moment so that we can become a deeper observer of existence, but also that natural Kundalini flow. Because the flow of the Pingala and the Ida, when we're learning in the yoga, what is it doing? It's bringing us up, right? So when we're in this aspect of that serpent power of the divine gift, which we see the caduceus, it's on every ambulance. What is really healing us in those nadis? Why is it everywhere on hospitals? That divine power, Shakti, Prana Shakti, right? And so we go back to like the feminine, the masculine in the body. We're seeing those nadis moving. What are we? We are these merging up, and then we get to the crown and they merge in, and they're in harmony. They're in love. And then that Mahamudra, when we're opening up our arms and allowing ourselves to feel that prana shakti, receive that nourishment of the power of breath, the power of your life force energy, that kundalini that's coming from that first week in that root chakra, sitting down there coiled, and then opening and allowing it to express through the body. That's a very big part of why I put those meditations together, because what the masters had shown me is gradual steps, clear, 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 open, 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 open. Ah, aha, God is great. Everything is working for me, not against me. Right? How is that also helping with your focus wheel in the beginning? You know, talking about work, talking about opening, talking about moving, talking about relationships. That was all in our focus wheel. How's that going for your emotional body?
Mm. Well, how is that going for my emotional body? It's confusing. It's getting busy when it comes to the focus wheel. I do have so personally, I'm a little bit more calmer. Uh, physically, I'm becoming more active. So not only did we do yoga, I've been more active as well. Um, comparatively, emotionally, a little bit more calmer, I think. I think. And when it comes to business, a little bit more patient.
Oh,
Because I do need the patience. I'm a little I guess there's a lot of us that need a little bit more patience. So a little bit more patient with everything. And recognizing, you become more aware of what's going on around you, right? Recognizing, like there was there was one person that I worked with, and I knew that this client, because we don't always get perfect clients, okay, we always are learning. So I found one client, and he's not a client yet, but it's a constant, development of what the client wants, and constant change. And I know that, this is going to be a learning experience for me with this client. So and I knew that when I met the client last week. I had that feeling. So you become a little bit more aware. Your emotions, your senses become more aware of what is going on around you, right? So this is, I think that was the awesome part after this course, was the awareness. You become a little bit more aware of your environment.
and then the other thing, like we had little discussions on, when you're used to doing Vipassana,
Yeah,
right? We have to look at the vibrancy of what dynamic work can do for us other than
right.
sitting all the time. Because for years sitting, also I did recognize the beauty and the unfolding of my samadhi body. And how nourishing that is to have that gift, to know that I can turn in anytime, stop my mind completely, restore, go into deep rest, and then come back into life and expand. But dynamic meditation alone is like the color of our expression. Even that Kundalini
Mm-hmm.
flow is like the prana shakti, the feminine
Mm-hmm.
is coming outward, and she's moving and she's taking from that consciousness of what we have
Mm-hmm.
in our Vipassana. Because every
Mm-hmm.
meditation in the active still led you into a silence, and
Right.
there was still movement, but then the aspects of music, mathematics, and meditation. The music allowed the intensity to open up the beauty of life again, but making
Yes.
life a celebration, making it a meditation.
Right. Yes.
And then our golden one. So we go up to eight weeks, friends, as a reminder, because all numbers go down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But 8 goes up. So the intention of these 8
That's true.
weeks,
Yeah.
the intention of these 8 weeks, even you look at my logo, I'm a life path 8. I had to figure out all my numerologies. I had to figure out why I'm leading in the conscious community, what my position was. I did lots of research on myself. I've had so many tests on me, Myers-Briggs. the gene key, everything. I tapped into all this stuff, TIR, all this stuff. Like we would just play with, look, like let's master ourselves, figure out cycles like you're doing, figure out
Hmm.
why does this work, and then how to put it into a presentation for people and what to use, symbols, rhythm, power sources. So that was one of the main keys, was why 8 weeks with me? Rising consciousness and rising your focus, rising your vision, and rising the dynamic aspect. Allow it to open you up. And you do need time. Like 21 days is important. 8 weeks is like 2 months, right? It takes 21 days to get a good habit. Then you have 8, you have 2 months, even 3 months. And if you continue them, you'll start to recognize the new parts of you that, are automatically just happening, and it's effortless. Yeah. So in that golden aspect, we chose the golden sutra meditation, the golden light meditation, the merging of the divine masculine feminine golden light, and then the earth of the dark sky merging through the body, so that we have that harmony of the masculine and feminine.
Hmm.
Right. And just understanding that they're like the dual aspects within us, and what we've learned about right and left hemispheres of our brain and our brain waves. And then all the aspects of what we're getting out there about how to have a opportunity to connect into the quantum physics and all these things that are out there right now. Everybody's like jumping through all this stuff. And the foundation of yoga, I think, for me right now, keeps it simple, so that when you go and tap into all these other parts, tarot, there's a lot in this course, right?
Hmm.
Tools of transformation. Like, tell me what it's like to pick up a tarot card before we get into this conversation, and how that made you feel. Like when we did the ruins, but then when we had the cards, like when we take what's in out, how does that make you feel?
Uh, I do. I personally still do a lot of tarot cards. It's very different. You have to concentrate, but it makes you feel. I guess what happens is when you pull out a card and what's inside when it comes out, it just reflects. It's like a reflection. It's like a dream come true type of thing, right? Whatever it may be that it's manifesting on the cards. So
Mm,
it's very interesting in my opinion. Like it will tell you the truth as to what's going on in your heart, and that's sometimes a good thing, and sometimes a reflection that you need to work with, in my
mm.
opinion.
And
And I
humble
think when
ourselves
we,
through it, right? Like
yeah,
humble ourselves through seeing what I call the woman and the man of many faces. I mean,
right,
the greatest gift that the Gita gave us is when Krishna showed all those faces. I'm like, well, how many emotions you have in one day? How many aspects of you exist, even in one
yeah,
day, from the morning to the night? How many thoughts? Where'd you travel? How many aspects of your personality? And then just accepting. And that's really what the tarot is for me, is like when I look at that, okay, I get it. Emotional body, clarity, that's going on inside me too. A really great tool to help yourself in relationships, so that you're not pointing a finger, because we all have all of these,
hmm,
right? And we're human with all of these vast aspects of ourselves, of the good and bad, of learning and unlearning. So that non-judgment, coming back to compassion, gratitude.
hmm.
Now, audience, we're gonna sign up here soon, and I just want Farzana, if you have any suggestions to anybody taking this course, what would you recommend? And the best that you had to say that helped you in this 8 weeks.
I think there was a few things that when we discussed was um, be open minded and keep all your learnings that you've already had in the past with other courses outside the door. So when they come in, to be open minded and to be open to learning a new technique or a different technique, or technique that helps you grow, should I say. So yeah, just keep an open mind is what I mean. Like I think we discussed that many times, because I already had a mindset of how things should go, and I would come in and you would always ground me and tell me, okay, Farzana, like keep that outside. That's a good thing to have, but learn a different technique. And then you can do whatever you want. That's fine. But just just learn it. So keep an open mind, in my opinion, and go out and learn a different technique, a new technique. And I really enjoyed it. Honestly, Leanne, I really, really enjoyed it. It made us more closer friends, and it also um, helped me improve my yoga. It helped me clear a lot of things that were going on in my mind, and it taught me something new that I didn't know, which is part of yoga and part of a lot of how should I say? It's a different technique, should I say? So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I think just keep an open mind when you're going into this.
So good to be with you, and may the
Thank you.
blessings of all the masters that have blessed my life continue to unfold on your path, and use the methodologies to support yourself at any time. Viewers, if you want to reach me, or even Farzana, you got a beautiful business. What is it? Bloombug Screams?
Yeah.
Please feel free. She's on my Facebook, and this is a
Thank
part of
you.
my YouTube. Farzana, just say your name and your business.
Oh, Farzana Dhanji, and it's Bloomberg Screens. So we're actually opening up a showroom in Coquitlam inside Vivid Stone and Design as of June 1st. So we do like bug screens and blinds, large openings. So if you have a big patio, you want bug screens, big ones. We can do those, just regular window screens, and then just the basic blinds. That's what we do.
So much love to you.
And yeah, thank
And
you.
what else? Tell me, quick.
And we're 100% owned, woman owned. So we're a WBE as well.
Oh my God, did I wear this for you today?
Yes, you did.
I literally never wear this shirt on. I do. I love it.
Really?
Actually, I wear it all the time to bed, or I just did yoga, and I was like, this is from Davy Banks from Armand DBG. So if you need shirts
Okay.
like this, she had a whole thing about empowering women,
Yes.
whole fashion show on it, and that's Armand. Hold on, let me show you. See that on my back, Armand.
Oh yeah.
So she's a fashion designer. I've promoted her for years too. Wonderful, wonderful friend. So I guess Davy Banks needs to meet you now, because it's just in the moment. God bless her. So good to
Thank
be with friends. I believe in the power of networking. I believe in the power of unity, oneness. I believe in the power of the Sangha. The Sangha is my focus for the next part of my life, is where we draw into the heart space from the Heart-Based Community podcast series, now into shedding into soul culture, and more of that to come, audience. So much love to you, Farzana.
Thank you. So much love to you too.
Namaste.